Hello and welcome to JamHammer. In this video, we're going to be looking at the 7 reasons why I decided to cancel my subscription to the Warhammer 40k Imperium magazine. This partwork series produced by Hachette and Games Workshop provides you with a magazine plus a selection of miniatures, paints, and/or hobbying tools each week. As a subscriber, you tend to get 4 issues of these at a time each month, as well as a few free gifts spread out over several deliveries. I've been a subscriber to their service for several months now, and have been creating content on this channel where I typically review the value of the included miniatures and paints that come in these deliveries. The contents tend to be substantially cheaper than buying the items from retail. So, with all these bargains and free items, why cancel the subscription? Let's find out by going through my reasons in ascending order. Number 7. Not how I learn. Throughout this series, we build up our collection of miniatures, paints, and our knowledge too. Each issue of the magazine includes additional rules to help introduce the game to new players. This is great for some people so that they aren't overwhelmed, as the rules and lore can really pile up fast and lead to some serious confusion. But this isn't the way for me. I tend to forget things over time and prefer to sit down, read the rulebook from cover to cover to get a grasp of the game, then start playing immediately, and then just look things up during gameplay if an unfamiliar mechanic occurs. This piecemeal way of getting people into the game can be problematic too, as the earlier rules are overly simplified, which means that we're being taught incorrect information that we then have to relearn again further along with the series. The rules don't come in sequential order either, so there isn't a comprehensive guide available to us at the moment, and there probably won't be for some time. I can understand this as a business model, as we have to keep buying more issues in order to fill in the gaps in the game rules, but being dragged along like this is quite frustrating. As is the tendency for Hachette to reprint some rules over and over again, with me now having a page on the 7 phases of a battle round no fewer than 3 times. Number 6. I got all the free gifts. I'll admit this is quite a mercenary one, but hey, Imperium tempt you to subscribe with a tantalising amount of freebies, and once this dries up, there's one less incentive. These free items do seem to vary, as I noticed that the US subscription doesn't give you the free art prints in your 7th delivery like they do in the UK subscription. But by and large, with your first 7 deliveries, you can expect some cool free stuff. This doesn't always pan out as smoothly as expected though, as we'll see later in this list. The quality of these items is a bit hit and miss too. The Citadel modelling kit was almost unusable for myself, although thanks to some kind guidance from the JamHammer community, I did finally get the glue to work and have been using this without issue since. The binder is useful and has a nice print, but is basically just a binder that you can pick up from anywhere if you wanted to store your magazines this way. I've never tried using the free brushes, but these are quite the saving if for some reason you are buying these individually, as Citadel brushes retail for some staggering prices. On the plus side, I'm really pleased with the painting handle and the art prints, and these have both been put to good use with them popping up in my most recent painting videos a lot. It's worth pointing out too that with the subscriptions in the UK and USA, you also get a free issue if you subscribe, so that's another nice little saving of $8.99. Unfortunately, I have the 7th delivery, and there's no more of these further down the line, so just another nail in the subscription service coffin now. Number 5. Not what I'd buy. We get a lot of minis with this series, but if you're not interested in the armies that we're building, this isn't much of an asset. I've always liked the Necrons and wanted to build an army when I played the game back in the day, so these being the evil poster boys for 9th edition was great, as we're getting a lot of the units that were included in the Indomitus set that I missed out on. I'm less interested in Primaris though. I'm still very much grounded in the past with these and much prefer the classic Space Marines. I have taken a few of the units from this collection just to flesh out my Dark Angels army, with the idea that I can bring it up to incursion-sized battles now. But I'm not interested really in collecting Admech or Adeptus Sororitas, and we're getting a lot of these miniatures too with Imperium magazine, especially at the time that I'm writing this. Also, although I found some uses for the Primaris, these aren't what I would buy for my Dark Angels army. It would have cost more money, sure, but the included units don't quite fit in with my forces. This is also true with the Necron army. I'm glad to have the units to make up an incursion-sized force, but I would likely have got some different models in there. So, although there are savings, you're pretty much at the whim of what they decide to give you. Number 4. Savings aren't quite as good as they seem. As I said at the top of this video, my focus with the Imperium collection up until recently has been how much you can save buying these magazines rather than the included minis at retail prices. And therein lies a problem. Third-party retailers sell Games Workshop figures for less. Plus, you have second-hand options too, or people selling sets for a lot less on eBay and the likes. I recently bought some terrain from Whaling Games, so using them as an example here, and just scrolling down their Necrons page, we can see that most, if not all, are being sold brand new for 20% less than the retail price. I recently got a set of Necron Warriors in my penultimate delivery, which was £17.98 through Imperium, as they were spread across 2 issues. Getting them this way was a nice saving of £12.02 over if we had bought these from the Games Workshop web store. From a third-party retailer like this one, we could have got the set for £23.86, meaning we only saved £5.88. Still a saving then, but if we didn't want another 10 warriors and 3 scarab bases, then we're kind of throwing money away at nothing. More problematically, is that in this same delivery, we paid £8.99 for 2 Citadel paints. We were already at a loss of £3.49 if we bought these from Games Workshop directly. The third-party retailer sells these for 15% less, so we're losing £4.35 here. And personally, I didn't want these colours, but as mentioned in reason number 5, with a subscription model, we're locked into what they give us. Number 3. Too much to spend. This is related to the previous reason, but a little different. Basically, I don't have a lot of excess income, and this is just too much money to be spending so frequently. Although we are getting savings over the cost of buying things retail, and still making some minor savings over third-party retailers as discussed before, it's still costing us just under £36 or just over $55 per month. Unfortunately, I can't really justify spending this much every month. This leads me quite nicely to plugging my PayPal wallet that you can find a link to in the description below and on the channel banner. If you enjoyed this video, please do consider clicking on this and giving to JamHammer. Any donations will be very gratefully received and put towards making more content like this. Number 2. Problems with the service. Throughout the run on this channel, I've had quite a few issues with actually getting hold of what was promised by Imperium. I've had issues arrive out of sequence, and some were missing for a really long time. Usually the issues that were delayed were the ones that included exceptionally good deals, which, call me paranoid, was a little suspect. It seems that what they could be doing is selling single or even multiple issues quite happily to customers and even scalpers who are going to resell them for profit, while they neglect to send issues out to their subscriber base. I had further issues too, such as when you do subscribe, you get automatically opted in to buy further special items from them. I contacted them to cancel this as I didn't want to be charged any more for these mystery items, but they still charged me for another identical binder and sent that to me with the most recent delivery. The free gifts were also delayed for a long time as they did not anticipate the collection being so popular, but these did eventually come through. Some of my copies of the magazine have arrived damaged as well, but the miniatures and accessories themselves were usually fine, so this is only a minor gripe. To be fair to Hatchet too, when I did contact the staff a few times to chase up missing items and issues, they were always really friendly and very helpful, and everything turned up in the end. And finally, it's just too much. Thanks to the Imperium magazine, I am now the owner of a pile of shame. There are just too many miniatures coming from the collection for me to assemble and paint. Considering that each week we tend to get a large model or half a unit of infantry, there's a lot you're getting here. Once we get down to receiving 4 of these a month, this quickly builds up to a surplus of models to get through. Alongside working, editing videos, and living the rest of your life, I personally don't have as much time as I'd like to dedicate to this hobby. And then before you know it, another stack of sprues has been added to the ever-growing pile. So far, I've only built some of the terrain and added it to my tabletop games. I've also got through some of the Primaris minis and have added them to my Dark Angels army. Some of these include miniatures I'll probably never use. And, with the exception of 3 warriors that I painted for a video recently, the entirety of the Necron army is still on sprues waiting to be built. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider liking it, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the bell to be notified of new videos being released. Although this video has been compiling reasons why it cancelled, I would probably keep on subscribing to the service if I could afford to. There are still some great savings to be had, even over the reduced prices that you could get from other sellers. If you can afford it, you get to try out new armies and units that you wouldn't normally go for, and you could surprise yourself with what these have to offer. Also, it feels really like an exciting treat when the end of the month is coming up and you find a package of minis turning up at your door. There'll still be more videos about this Warhammer 40k Partwork series being released in the future though, so please do keep an eye out for more Imperium content coming soon to JamHammer. In the meantime, there are plenty of other videos available on the channel, including a few that are on screen now for you to click on. Thanks again for watching.